Hello everyone, I'm Everton from Curve Radio, and today we'll show you a complete beginner's guide on how to use Mixxx. If you're already familiar with this program or you look for something more advanced, this is probably not the video for you. I will just explain the very basics and everything you need to know as a beginner. Anyway, what is Mixxx about? Mixxx is an audio program which allows you to broadcast and record anything related to audio. It's mostly popular for online radio DJing, but as I said, you can also use it offline by saving formats such as WAV or MP3. Anyway, we'll start at the very top here. As you can see, we have various tabs. I won't explain the help one, but let's start with File. Clicking on File gives you load track to deck 1 and so on. Pretty much, what is a deck and what can you load into it? Each one of these boxes is a deck, and you can load anything related to audio in it, let it be a song, a jingle, a conversation recorded. So you can load anything of audio into a deck by using File and clicking on one of these, but you can also load it from your library, which we'll get to in a second, or you can take a song from a Windows folder, drag it and drop it in a deck. For example, you just take it, drop it in, there you have the song. Now the library, you can also take songs from there and also drag them in. What is the library? Basically, Mixxx will allow you to have one specific Windows folder, which it will see as a library. And again, anything can be in it, songs, jingles. Do know if you update your folder, you also need to rescan it in Mixxx to make sure that everything is updated. Furthermore, you can create a playlist. For example, if you have a morning show or an evening show, obviously you want two different playlists for that, and you can create a crate. The view option does not have a lot of important things, but one of the most important is the show microphone option. As you can see currently, that's here, and clicking that will obviously delete it, but make sure to have that on if you need it. We'll get to the microphone in just a second. And last but certainly not least, the options. You can see that you have two buttons, Record Mix and Enable Live Broadcasting. Clicking on each one of these will enable what it says. So just clicking on Record Mix will enable your recording, and Enable and Broadcasting will put you on live. But before you can do these, you need to check something in Preferences. Preferences, we have a lot of tabs. I'll go to the most important ones. Again, not covering all of them. I'm just here to explain these very basics. So the sound hardware is very important. You can leave all of these as they are. They should be good by default unless you need something specific. Do know that you need to select with output and input the right ones. I see a lot of people that tell that that microphone doesn't work or they can't hear anything. Make sure this is set up appropriately. Your steering programs need to be an output, and obviously the input should be your microphone. Furthermore, the library. I have not set a library because I don't want one. I don't need one. But you can add a specific place in a Windows folder which Mixxx will recognize as a library and where you can get songs out of. It is quite handy, but personally I don't use it that often. The interface, you can see there's like a theme, like you can see here, you have different themes for Mixxx. I prefer this one as it's easy to use, of everything what I need. Do know if you use a different skin, that's very fine. Others are great too. But do know that buttons might be in different places. So following this tutorial could, well, you'll need to check out a few things using another theme. We go to the Crossfader, which we'll get to in a minute, which is this little button, right? But yeah, basically what that does, it allows you to go from one song to the other. And this is the setting for it and how powerful you want it. And but yeah, normally by default this should be good, unless you kind of want to play around with it and see what that does. The Auto DJ setting, again, can play around with these as you wish, but the Auto DJ, what that does is you put in a series of songs, you enable the Auto DJ, and it will do everything for you. How do you enable the Auto DJ? As you can see down here, you have Auto DJ. We'll click on it quickly. And then you just put in the songs here, and you enable it. And then it will play everything that's in there without you needing to do anything. Again, it won't sound amazing because some songs don't really match up or something, but do know it is there. Now, live broadcasting. I've removed a few things because my login and everything. But yeah, important to know is set up the right type. You've shoutcast, icecast, make sure to know what it is, and then fill in your login details. You should be able to find that with wherever you're hosting. Furthermore, for the bitrate, if you want an average bitrate, 128 should be enough. But if you really want the high quality, go to 256 to 320. That's the best quality you can go for. The format is MP3 because I personally find that the best format to go with, and obviously stereo. For the recording, very simple. You can set a directory where it saves all your recordings. Very good to know, so you won't have to search. And furthermore, yeah, select the type that you want. I suggest if you want to edit something, make sure you know which type format you need before doing it, because that saves you a lot of time. Same with the bitrate. And if you have very big recordings, make sure to select what you need. If you need a 60-minute unsplit recording, make sure to select that. A lot of people have split recordings and that could be annoying. Anyway, that's the preference area. Explain the most important areas, but again, you can play around with various things the way you want it, but just know what they do. Up here, these buttons pretty much do what I've already explained. This is the record button. Click on it and it will start recording. This is the live broadcasting button. This is to hide the effects area. You can put in various effects and play them. Same with the samplers here. The mic, again, has same as with the view here, but then in a button. And you see like an option area here, and that's very interesting for this theme. That's what I really like about it. Right now you see I have 4 decks, and personally I prefer 4 decks because it's very easy to manage and organize everything, especially doing a live show. If you want that, enable 4 decks. If you don't enable it, you'll only have 2. Again, 2 is fine, but 4 is better. Other than that, not that much interesting here. Obviously, the artist and track titles, good to know. And the BPM, the beat per minute, over here is 128. Good to know. For example, I'll import another song. This is 128, this is 100. They don't match. So that's good to know what the BPM is for, kind of to see what the rhythm and all is like. Yeah, and other than that, these are all things you can play around with to your own soothing needs during your show or recording. Anyway, I was talking about the mic and the music playing. We'll get to that in a minute. We have a small menu down here with various options. Tracks is just to see what tracks you played. Auto DJ we just explained. The playlist too. Computer over here, that's pretty much a file explorer. And your recordings area is where all your recordings are saved. And history is what songs you played over the past time. So those are all technical things. We now get to the more interesting stuff, why everyone is here. To use the microphone, you must obviously enable it. But as you can see, you have this button, the gain button here. I usually leave it somewhere just a little over. You need to check that out yourself with your mic and the music on and whatever. Gotta check that a bit for yourself. I just usually leave it a bit over. And you can just press the button and you can hear it already. It's quite annoying hearing myself 2 times. But yeah, just click the button or use the shortcut and it will work perfectly. Same with ducking, you can just do that to your own preference. That's just to have the music lower than your actual voice, which is quite interesting if you want to speak during a song or something. Anyway, now to this area, which is most important. Up here you see the balance and the master. The balance is to obviously balance the sound. It's currently in the center, so you would hear it on both of your ears. If I pull it to the complete left, you'll only hear it on the left, right on the right. Very logic. And the master is the volume, which you can set higher and lower. Do know these 2 are for the entire decks that you have here. So that's controlling everything. You see the same buttons over here. They pretty much do the same. Same with equalizers and everything. For example, if I want to play this song, how would you play a song? Click this button. Question is, where is this in all these buttons? Have a look and you can see it's over here. So you can adjust the main volume here. And as you can see in the actual preview, you can also see it enlarged. So you can play around with these to your own needs. I'm not going to go into explain too much in detail, that's for another video. But that's good to know. Always pay attention to that. And that goes for all the decks. Each deck is the same way. Now, the BPM over here is not the same as this one. The difference is too big, right? This is not a good example. But how do you fix that? Imagine this was like 125. You would just click the sync button and it will adjust it to what the BPM is on the other side. Again, it only works with very small differences, like 128 and 125. If it's too high, you see that this bar is going up all the way. And what this basically is like, you should imagine it like a pitch. If I play this song, this is normal. Pull it down very deep and slow. And pull it up will be very pitched and very fast. So if you, let's say that this is 0, you want to have it maybe like a little bit up, but not too much, because that will really change the song. Crossfading, that's pretty much the last one we'll go through. Crossfading is from one song to the other. You can let the auto DJ do that once that's enabled, but honestly that sounds very weird sometimes, so I do not recommend it. Imagine we're at the end of this song, right? Imagine we're done with this song and want to go to the next song over here. What you do, you let it play. Make sure that this is on this side so we don't have any noise coming from this area, right? So you'll have it on the song which is ending. You play it. You'll start this one and you can slowly, manually cross over. Probably not the most professional way, but it really works. Have a look. Right, so you've no weird noises, or like no songs interfering with each other. That's very handy for ads, or if you mix songs, or if you have jingles going on. I usually do that with jingles if I quickly have to throw in a jingle or something. So it's not too brutal. You're not like cutting off the song, but you're having a nice move on to the next one. So yeah, that's everything about Mixxx, I guess. I'm sure there's still questions. Don't be afraid to ask those. I've made a previous video on Mixxx, as I really like the program. I've been working with it for so long, ever since I started with radio DJing. No sponsor, but I'm just very happy about it. And as I said, I've made a previous video on this where I saw some questions. For example, how do you use the library? Again, you go to the preferences area, there you select your directory, and from the library you can import everything you have from that. And again, if you update your Windows folder library, you must also rescan your library in Mixxx. Another question I had was with the skins. As I said at the very beginning, if you have the same skin at mine, you'll find the similar buttons. But if you have a different skin, you will probably need to search where the buttons are, as it looks a bit different. And another question I found out is for live streaming, live broadcasting. When you newly installed Mixxx, you'll get an error message when you try to broadcast in MP3. That's because there's some legal issues for where they can't bring in a certain file. In the error, you'll get a link that you need to download a specific file. You go to that website, you see all documentation for Windows and Mac. Just download that file. I think it's a DLL file, should be 2, I guess. You download these and you put it in the main installation folder of Mixxx. So where you installed Mixxx, you put those 2 files, restart Mixxx, and it should work. But make sure to do that if you use an MP3 file, which I do recommend, but that's how you do it. If there's any more questions, if there's anything you need to know, you can always write down in the comments. But what I really do recommend, check out the Discord of Curve Radio. We're very happy to have you there, very welcoming. And if there's anything you need, just ask and I'll be very happy to help. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Hope I convinced you of using Mixxx. It's an amazing program, completely for free. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.